What's up everyone and welcome back to the UFC News Hub. Today let's get started with Islam Makhachev needs to fight Ilia Topuria next. Islam Makhachev's next move in the UFC has become one of the biggest questions in MMA right now. Ever since Ilia Topuria's stunning short notice win over Renato Moicano, fans and fighters alike have been buzzing about what's next for both men, especially for the lightweight champ. Despite the growing anticipation, there's still been no official word from the UFC about who Makhachev will fight next. Some reports suggested that Islam might be waiting to see how the Belal Muhammad versus Jack Della Maddalena fight unfolds before making a decision, but that theory didn't last long. Ali Abdelaziz quickly shut those rumors down, bluntly calling it fake news. Said Ali Abdelaziz, interestingly, there's a growing voice within the MMA community that believes Islam already has the perfect challenger standing right in front of him, Ilia Topuria. One of the people pushing for this fight is none other than Merab. During an appearance on the Ariel Helwani show, Merab didn't hold back. Ilia has to fight Islam Makhachev, especially because he vacated his title. He's the best, most deserving contender at 155 pounds. But somehow Islam is ignoring him, said Merab Dvalishvili. He even brought up a past conversation he had with Islam at a press conference. Islam told me at the press conference, Merab, I respect you, but when you have a top contender, you should fight him. And I said, okay, now he has a top contender in Ilia, but he's not fighting him, Merab added. He also pointed out how the criticism seems to fall harder on him than it ever does on Islam, despite similar situations. Even with all the buzz and pressure, there's still no confirmation. Still, Topuria's team is keeping their hopes up. His coach, Jorge Clement, recently opened up during an interview on Submission Radio about how much this fight would mean to them. I prayed to do this fight. It's a big fight. I don't know what Islam's plan is or what he really wants. I'm going to be sad if this fight doesn't happen because I think it's a good fight for Ilia, said Jorge Clement. Now, if Islam isn't actually waiting around for the outcome of the Belal versus JDM fight, then it really might just be a matter of time before we hear something official from the UFC. But one thing's for sure, Ilia Topuria isn't just a flashy striker or a hyped up name. He's earned his shot and more voices are calling for Islam to step up and meet him in the octagon. Whether it happens next or not, the pressure is building and fans are watching closely. Before we continue, subscribe and click the bell icon to help support the channel. Merab Dvalishvili has revealed something unexpected ahead of his rematch with Sean O'Malley. He actually feels bad for everything that's happened between them. This all started when Merab famously snatched O'Malley's flashy jacket backstage, a playful moment that ended up symbolizing something much bigger. Since then, Merab didn't just beat Sean in the cage. He believes he took his confidence, his fans, and most importantly, his title. Speaking on the Ariel Helwani show, Merab said, I always liked the guy. I don't follow many 135ers on Instagram, and I follow him. He's funny, he's cute, and he's a good fighter too. I have only positive feelings, other than he was talking stupid about Aljamain Sterling. I actually feel bad for Ali. I stole his jacket, I stole his belt, I stole his fans, and made him humble. He's definitely a different guy now, and that's good, Merab said. That level of honesty and even sympathy is rare in fight promotion. But make no mistake, Merab's still coming to fight. This time though, he wants to show a different side of himself. I'm going to take some risks, and I'm going to show my striking too. That's what I'm thinking right now. Sometimes I'm a little crazy, so in some fights, I'm going to show my craziness, he said with a smirk. As for O'Malley getting an immediate rematch, a move some fans criticized, Merab isn't one of the haters. Even though a lot of people criticize Ali getting the rematch, I think he deserved it. He made lots of excuses after the fight, and I know he'll make adjustments and he'll change the game plan. It's going to be a totally different fight, he said. I know he will attack me from the beginning with the body kicks and striking. I want to test my striking too, Merab added. Despite all that, odds makers have made Merab a strong favorite again. Fans remember how dominant he was the first time, and many believe the outcome won't change. But whether you're rooting for the wild comeback of Sugar Sean or expecting another Merab beatdown, one thing's for sure, UFC 316 is going to be fireworks. And if Merab felt bad before, he might feel even worse after this fight, unless Sean shocks the world and takes back everything he lost. The MMA community is absolutely buzzing right now, and not in a good way. There's growing tension, frustration, and straight up backlash aimed directly at Dana White for the current state of the UFC. Across social media, fans and analysts alike are voicing deep concerns, with many wondering if we're witnessing a slow decline of what was once the most exciting combat sport platform in the world. It all started when Boxing Kingdom dropped a bomb on Twitter saying, "The UFC seems to be in decline. Pay-per-view sales have plummeted. No major new stars have been created. MMA fans seem upset with recent and future cards. Is now the right time for Dana White to leave the UFC, or should he delay his move into boxing?" That tweet hit a nerve and immediately split the community. Some agreed wholeheartedly, while others fired back defending the UFC's growth. But the criticism didn't stop there. A longtime MMA fan laid it out brutally, saying, "The sport is too watered down now. I fought for 15 years. I used to watch every UFC card. I haven't watched a card since Jones versus Stipe. Pay-per-views used to be 3 fights with known fighters, and the other 2 were usually good matchups. Now it's a headliner and 4 fights of people I've never heard of. That's not just nostalgia talking, it's disappointment from someone who's been around long enough to see the shift." Another voice from the community pulled no punches either, saying, "How to reverse this decline? Dana, stop being a massive cheapskate ball dig and pay fighters more. He could literally double the win bonus of every fighter on the 10-10 contract, and there would be no difference to TKO's finances." That kind of direct call out shows just how fed up some fans are with fighter pay and what they see as the UFC's corporate greed. The Apex facility also came under fire multiple times. One frustrated fan said, "No more Apex slop cards. No ESPN deal. Close the Apex. Stop booking uninteresting fight night main events. Sign better heavyweights. Close the Apex. Improve scouting. And stop just signing anyone. Make it special to be in the UFC again." The repetition wasn't accidental. Fans are desperate for the UFC to return to the big arenas, to the packed crowds, to the glory it once had. And it's not just about logistics or money, it's about identity. Another longtime supporter of the sport expressed their sadness, saying, "Honestly, I've been a fan for many years, but I haven't watched in months. It got boring. No new stars, and when stars do fight, they make the rest of the card terrible." That disconnection from the product is a dangerous sign for any sports brand, but not everyone agrees with this negative outlook. Some argue that the UFC is actually doing better than ever. One person defending Dana and the UFC said, "UFC are not on the decline. They just signed an $800 million TV deal with ESPN. The last one was $350 million. They're gonna be on Netflix too." That's a massive deal that shows media companies still see huge value in the UFC brand. For comparison, Eddie Hearn, who runs one of boxing's biggest promotions, only secured a $100 to $150 million TV deal. That said, I suspect Dana will be more focused on boxing, a new challenge, the same commenter added. It hints that Dana might already be thinking about what's next, even if he won't admit it yet. Another perspective brought up the bigger picture, saying, "I heard the UFC since it began, and through it, the UFC slowly but surely became legalized in every state. Went from 4 events per year to 1 per week and growing. Went from a $40 million deficit to selling for $4 billion. And the biggest booms, India, Africa, China, are yet to come." That's a reminder that UFC's global reach is still expanding, and its financial success is undeniable. And finally, someone summed it all up with a sharp insight, saying, "That's not the way to analyze the UFC. They'll probably do a media rights deal this year that's going to be at least 3 times the amount of the last deal. Have no problem selling out either. The reason they don't care for pay-per-view anymore is because they get guaranteed money from ESPN regardless." That last point is critical. It explains why some recent cards feel lackluster. When the money's already locked in, the incentive to stack the cards might not be as urgent. So what do you think? Is the UFC really in decline? Or are we just going through a rough patch while the business keeps booming behind the scenes? Should Dana White step away, or does he still have more to give to the sport he helped build? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.